Who will Claire choose by Christmas on The Young and the Restless? Claire might have an important decision to make by Christmas. She and Holden shared a steamy night of passion on Halloween. By Thanksgiving, she was locking lips with Kyle. Who will she choose on The Young and the Restless? Key takeaways. Claire wants to make the most of her single life. She hooked up with Holden on Halloween night. She locked lips with Kyle after she visited him and his family for Thanksgiving. Hot Halloween night. Claire, Haley Aaron, who is Soap Hub's November 2025 Performer of the Month, took Holden, Nathan Owens, up on his offer to visit LA. Holden took on the role as her tour guide, as he showed her the sights and sounds of the city. Most of their moments took place at the Shadow Room, where the sparks flew between them. On Halloween night, Claire felt like a whole new woman. Although the drinks were flowing, she wanted to remain cognizant for the next move she was about to make. Claire kissed Holden on the dance floor. The two took things back to her hotel room. She wanted to share a night of passion with Holden. However, her demeanor has changed since returning to Genoa City. She told Holden they weren't going to sleep together again, even though she had fun. Thanksgiving kisses. Kyle, Michael Mealer, invited Claire over for Thanksgiving dinner. He wanted her to stop by and say hi to Harrison, Redding Munsell, and his family. At first, Claire hesitated, but she took Kyle on his offer. She assured Victoria, Amelia Heinley, that it didn't mean they were getting back together. She didn't want anyone to think that, even her grandmother, Nikki, Melody Scott Thomas, who was curious about what this meant. Claire must have got swept up in the holiday spirit. When Kyle walked her out the door, she kissed him. He had a goofy grin on his face as she walked away. Claire can't blame the alcohol this time for her swift decision. What's her Christmas wish? Claire hooked up with Holden on Halloween. Then she kissed Kyle on Thanksgiving. She's celebrating the holidays by exploring her singlehood. Why and our fans think Claire is playing Holden. So, who is Claire going to choose by Christmas? Will she have another exciting time with Holden? Or will she feel enchanted by the magic of the holidays and go back with Kyle? As we know, things change quickly in Genoa City. Claire might get back with Kyle by Christmas, only to hook up with Holden again on New Year's Eve. Claire is still discovering who she is, which means she could become impulsive and messy. Snow dusted the rooftops of Genoa City like powdered sugar, and every window downtown glowed with warm Christmas lights. It was the kind of December night that made the entire town feel like a movie set, quiet, sparkling, hopeful. And for Claire Grace, hope was something she was only beginning to believe in again. Just 1 year ago, she'd been alone, adrift, manipulated, convinced she had no family and no future. Now she found herself at the center of a Christmas dilemma she never imagined. Two men, both offering very different visions of what her life could become. One was steady, dependable, quietly protective. The other was surprising, complicated, and stirring feelings she didn't yet know how to name. And Christmas was coming fast. 1. Snowflakes and surprises. Claire walked down the steps of Chancellor Winters, tugging her scarf tighter as the cold nipped at her cheeks. She'd just finished a long day of meetings with Devin and Lily. Her role at CW was small but growing, and for the first time in her life, she felt like she belonged somewhere. "Hey, Grace," a voice called behind her. She turned to see Chancellor jogging toward her, hands shoved into the pockets of his coat, a grin lighting his face. Chance had a way of showing up exactly when she needed reassurance, as if he sensed her thoughts before she said them. "I thought you'd still be in the meeting," Claire said. "I was," Chance replied, brushing snow off his shoulders. "But I saw you heading out and figured I'd walk you to society. It's icy, and I happen to be trained in emergency snowfall escorting." Claire laughed. "Is that an official title?" "Absolutely. I even have a badge. Somewhere." They walked side by side through the soft flurries. Chance wasn't flashy, wasn't loud. But he was steady, solid in a way that made Claire feel safe. He'd been one of the first people in Genoa City to treat her like more than the sum of her past mistakes. And there were moments, small ones, when she caught him looking at her with something warm in his eyes. Something that scared her. Something that thrilled her. As they reached society, Chance held the door open. "Dinner?" he asked casually. "I mean if you haven't already made plans." Before she could answer, another voice sounded from inside the restaurant. Claire! She froze. Johnny Abbott was walking toward them, a look of surprise, and something else, on his face. Oh no, Claire thought. Not tonight. 2. The Abbott factor. Johnny stopped in front of her, cheeks red from the cold, hair dusted with snow. He looked older than the boy she'd first met, more confident, more sure of himself. And every time he looked at her like that, she felt a flutter in her stomach she didn't know what to do with. Hey, Claire said softly. I was just grabbing hot chocolate with Katie, Johnny said. She went to the restroom, but I saw you come in and, well, hi. Chance raised an eyebrow at Claire, silently asking if she wanted him to leave. But Claire shook her head. Do you want to join us? Both of you? Johnny smiled. Chance nodded. And Claire wondered, not for the first time, how on earth she'd ended up in the middle of a situation that felt more like a romantic comedy than real life. They sat at a corner table, a Christmas tree twinkling behind them. Conversation flowed, light, warm, easy. But beneath it, tension pulsed like a second heartbeat. Chance teased Claire about her habit of color-coding sticky notes. Johnny made her laugh so hard she almost spilled her cocoa. And every time she looked up, one of them was watching her. 3. A Christmas invite. After dinner, Chance walked her to the door again. So, he said, clearing his throat, I was wondering if you'd like to come to the Chancellor Winter's Christmas party next week. With me. Claire's breath caught. Was he asking her out? Before she could respond, Johnny called from a few feet away, Claire, wait. Chance closed his eyes briefly, amused and exasperated. I'll let you think about it, he said gently. Just text me. He walked off, leaving Claire to face Johnny, who shoved his hands into his pockets, obvious nerves on his face. Johnny began. I was going to ask if you wanted to come to the Abbott Christmas breakfast. Just as friends, he added quickly. Unless you wanted it to be more? Claire's pulse drummed in her ears. 2 invitations. 2 very different possibilities. And suddenly she wished Christmas was another 6 months away. 4. The voice of reason, Victoria, naturally. That evening, Claire sat in the Newman living room staring into the glow of the fireplace when Victoria walked in carrying 2 mugs of peppermint tea. You've been quiet since dinner, Victoria observed as she handed Claire a mug. Want to talk about it? Claire curled into the blanket draped over her lap. I think I might have a problem. Victoria smiled knowingly. Let me guess, he's tall, or in this case, they're tall.